We are presenting the issue and promoting the ban of ownership of private possession of handguns in the U.S. We feel and believe that this dangerous weapon should be prohibited to the general public for the safety of all society. We will be talking about high gun circulation, gun killing people, and suicide rates thanks to guns. What is the process of purchasing a firearm in California? It's a federal, we're talking about federal, but every state has their own laws. Therefore, we're focusing on California since we all live here. And according to the attorney government, all firearms purchases and transfers, including private party transactions and sales at gun shows, must be made through a licensed dealer under the Dealer Record of Sales, which is also the DROS. California imposes a 10-day waiting period before a firearm can be released to a buyer or transferee. 10 days is not that much if you're actually thinking about it as a background check. A person must be at least 18 years of age to purchase a rifle or a shotgun. To buy a handgun, a person must be at least 21 years of age. As part of the DROS, again, the Dealer Record of Sale, the buyer must present a clear evidence of identification and age. So we can talk about like DMV or any kind of passport and such things. Purchasers of handguns also require to provide proof of California residency. It is very scary and ironic that one can buy a rifle and or a shotgun, yet not legally drink. Many shotguns are used for hunting, but these guns are still capable of killing a person on accident during your regular hunt. It is also not focusing on how easy it is these days to steal the identity of someone and also their social security. I've seen many people lose their cards or their IDs and it's easily pretend to be them. We all been that when we went to clubs, try to pretend we're 21. ABC also reported how a man got shot during a hunting accident. Police are investigating a hunting accident that killed a Dauphin County man. Officials with the PA Game Commission said a 53-year-old man, Hugh McCord, from Middle Paxton Township, was shot in the next Saturday night around 5 p.m. along his little hunting ride. We also found some evidence in regards to gun circulation. Columnist Dan Roderick, who writes for the Baltimore Sun newspaper. Too many guns are in circulation and ownership, which promotes an unnecessary risk for everyone around them. According to the columnist Dan Roderick, who writes for the Baltimore Sun newspaper, claims that there are almost as many people as there are guns. About 310 million people in the United States, a country loaded with guns, an estimate 290 million of them, all shapes and sizes. Columnist Dan Roderick, who I also just mentioned from the Baltimore Sun newspaper, guns make it easier for people to kill and injure someone. I know people kill people, but guns are definitely involved in that. That's what guns are designed to do. The availability of a gun makes it more likely that impulse feelings of anger and thoughts of suicide end in either death or serious injury. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the trial in Baltimore County of Roman Walden. Mr. Walden was 68 when he was charged with killing a neighborhood teenager and wounded another who had pelted his home with snowballs. He was acquitted on all charges, but of course a young man had died over snowballs. Something that wouldn't have happened had Mr. Walden not got a gun. Of course, we have these small percentages. Not everyone's getting killed by snowballs these days. But if it was your brother and your father or your son, I definitely think that figure would matter. Suicides in regards to guns. The New England Journal of Medicine, Matthew Miller, with an MD and his partner David Hemingway, PhD, found that gun abuse was the #1 method used to follow out after courting. Well, according to this, gun suicide was the #1 fact used. Hemingway, PhD, presents the most recent mortality data available. Suicide was the second leading cause of death among Americans after heart attacks. Among Americans of all leading cause of death, among all Americans of all ages, more than half of all suicides are gun suicides. In 2005, an average of 46 Americans per day committed suicide with a firearm, accounting for 53% of all completed suicides. Gun suicides during the period accounted for 40% more deaths than gun homicides. A gun appears to be a higher danger factor of oneself rather than others. Therefore, we need a protection from this suicide option. Banning the possession of a weapon will reduce the suicide rates. claim on why the ban will reduce suicide. Again, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, with Matthew Miller and David Hemingway, PhD and MD, first, many suicidal acts are mentioned due to sudden strain or conflict with life. There are impulse decisions. Gun suicide is most commonly available again. Second, guns are most common in the United States. More than 1/3 of U.S. households contain a firearm and are lethal. A suicide attempt with a firearm rarely affords any second chance. Cutting your wrist or poisoning yourself is 90% of all suicide rates. But again, I want to point out, this is the attempt, not the act of actually dying. These are just a few of several reasons why we believe weapons should be banned. We hope to persuade the people to let go of the unnecessary ideology of a free America in regards to guns, for the safety of everyone in society. As the purpose of the amendment was to keep the Constitution as a living document and prevent it from becoming outdated and irrelevant in some cases, we feel the Second Amendment of the Constitution should ban possession of guns. We are grateful now that alcohol is not prohibited, and let's make the next generation grateful for the same change of a positive change, the chance of a positive change. Thank you.